Tor, good to see you. How you doing? Good evening. Good evening, brother Miles, the CMF crew. Funky brother, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Joe, good to see you as well. Evening, how you doing? How you been? How have you been? How have you been, Persian brother? I've been doing good. How you been doing, Funky brother? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? You know what we'll do? We'll do a gist. We'll do a gist of what we're going to be talking about tonight's live show. And by that time, everyone's tuned in after the gist of what we're going to be talking about, then the disclaimer, and then the intro. Everyone's pretty much tuned in for the beginning part of the live show. Messi, good to see you on. How you doing? JP, good to see you on. How you doing? Evening, how you been? I'm good, just waiting for the pump. Let's go, funky brother. Can you start with 3 bad news today? Can I start with 3 bad news? Well, I've lined up the news today in a mixture type of way. So we're going to go through good, bad, information, newsation. Actually, no bad news, to be fair. But information news that you should know, in other words. Good evening, Miles and CMF, free and forever. Good to see you on. How you doing? I don't know where the 3 came from. I don't know where the 3 came from. Camel, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? So, on tonight's live show, we're going to go through a mixture of topics. We're going to be talking about the digital chamber and essentially flagging privacy concerns regarding the IRS and digital asset tax drafts. Apparently, the IRS is asking for too much information regarding cryptocurrency usage. We're going to go through that on tonight's live show. We're also going to be talking about Bloomberg on tonight's live show as well. The Bloomberg analyst has came out and said that today essentially is a big day for Ethereum ETFs. We're also going to be talking about Michael Dell and how he might be going towards Bitcoin. We're going to go through that as well on tonight's live show. We're going to talk about Pantora Capital and TON. Apparently, Pantora Capital is going to be investing a lot more in TON. We're also going to be talking about Standard Chartered Bank today as well, opening their doors to trading. We're going to be talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on tonight's live show as well, his new perspective on the market space, and who he wants to essentially free from prison. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Bybit and their new wealth fund management that they're doing. Well, not new, something that they've done a while ago that worked out very well. They're about to open their doors again. We're also going to be talking about Ledger on tonight's live show as well. It's been a long time since we talked about Ledger, and Ledger has came out and essentially tried to warn the crypto space about a new particular scam that's happening. And Ledger's trying to protect its users by essentially letting people know about this new information. We'll go through that on tonight's live show as well. We're also going to be talking about the Campus U platform. There is one platform inside the crypto space that's been inside the crypto space for a very long time. It's called Campus U. Now, Campus U is going to be turning towards AI, and they're going to be doing it through a KIM protocol, where essentially it will teach people, students or adults that want to know essentially about blockchain technology. What is blockchain technology? How to use it? What is AI? Everything you need to know about digital world is basically in Campus U. It's like a university for blockchain technology and AI. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Tron and USDT. We're going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding SoftBank and their CEO essentially talking about artificial intelligence in front of a massive crowd and what he sees the future as artificial intelligence. We're going to be talking about tonight's live show also regarding US congressmen. A US congressman has finally came out to essentially tell Nigeria to maybe release the Binance executives. So Binance executives have been in Nigeria for a very long time. They arrived at the airport thinking they're going to have a meeting with the Nigerian government, and instead the Nigerian government took these 2 Binance executives to prison. No questions asked, basically. And finally, we're getting some response from the US regarding what they're going to be doing. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Ripple's CEO and the perspective he has on this massive case, not massive, but civil case that I talked about yesterday. We're also going to be talking about Japanese banks and essentially Arthur Hayes' perspective on what's going to be happening inside the market space. So that's mostly towards the end. So we have a mixture of news. We have bank news to go through, knowledge news to go through, information news to go through, AI news to go through, bank news to go through. Quite a mixture of news to go through on tonight's live show. So if you are watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF live show. I talk about cryptocurrencies, recent news in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI and regulations, and politics. Everything that plays a vital role going towards essentially a digital world starting 2024. And we also do Q&As as well, which means if you have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I answer everybody's questions one by one. I read the comments one by one in general. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So, the first news we're going to be going through on tonight's live show is regarding the digital chamber and the IRS regarding cryptocurrency taxations inside the United States. But before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were. We were here. Carl, good to see you, brother. How you doing? Messi, good to see you. Let's go. Hit the like. Any news why XYO is pumping? No particular news on that I've heard of regarding XYO pumping. 3 best cryptos to buy for the next 3 to 4 months. For the next 3 to 4 months, one would be definitely looking to TON. There's a lot of things happening on TON chain. We're going to go through TON news today as well, but there's a lot of investments happening towards TON. It's definitely a blockchain that isn't being looked into quite a lot. Everybody looks into Solana, everybody's been looking into Base now, but TON chain, things that are also being developed on TON chain is something to definitely look into. 900 million users is what they have, so definitely look into TON and their ecosystem and what they're trying to build is what I would say. Now, on the other ones, 3 to 4 months isn't enough time unless you're going digging around in the other category, which is the high risk category. But in terms of a genuine category, 3 to 4 months, TON's great. If we get a result from the lawsuit as well for XRP, that's also good to go as well. And XLM and XDC in that category. And also regarding Ethereum ETFs, if Ethereum ETFs get an official green light from the S1 filings on July 2nd, it comes out July 2nd, according to Eric's perspective, then projects on ETH's chain are also going to do well. ACH will do incredibly well as well. Near will do incredibly well. So a lot of things are going to be happening based on different timelines. So 3 to 4 months, there's actually quite a bit happening in terms of timelines of the Ethereum ETFs, which will boost the Ethereum ecosystem as well, projects on Ethereum's chain, which is also going to boost the, the layer 1s, the layer 2s, and so on. But also the Ripple case, according to Brad, it's going to be sooner than most people think. So one will be TON, look into that. But the other ones will be based on the results of the case, XRP, XLM, XDC, based on Ethereum's ETF, ACH. Mike, good day, Miles and family. Good to see you as well, Mike. How you doing? I guess 3 camels of sack. 3 camels of sack. Orphan, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Don't waste your money. Just go to coinmove.1/learn. Let's go, JP. Facts. Stormy, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Ian and Miles and family, hope you're all well. Ian, good to see you as well. How you doing? Torn or Ton? The second one, but 1 N. It's T-O-N. T-O-N. Not 2 N's, 1 N. T-O-N. It's Ton Coin, in other words. Hi, Pisces. Good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? So, Digital Chamber is the first news we're going to go through on tonight's live show. It's regarding the IRS. The Digital Chamber flags privacy concerns in IRS digital asset tax drafts. Apparently, the IRS is asking for more information than it should regarding your crypto assets. So obviously, you would have to essentially come out and pay your taxes, and if you don't, you're going to be, seeing severe penalties somewhere down the line. Now, there are other ways to get around taxes in a very legitimate manner, which is essentially borrowing against your crypto assets and use them. You can't get taxed on debt, is what I'm trying to say. But if you're just trading and you're spending that cryptocurrencies, then obviously you're going to be liable for tax. But that does depend on different jurisdictions as well, also in gray areas, some of them. Now, the Digital Chamber essentially is flagging privacy concerns in the IRS digital tax draft. The Digital Chamber has submitted its feedback on the Internal Revenue Services IRS draft 1099-DA that was released back in April 18th. The group flagged areas of concerns for the wider blockchain sector on the new proposed tax reporting guidelines. Other analysts and crypto stakeholders have also pointed out issues with the initial draft. Now, you might think this only applies to the United States. If you're in the UK and the EU, it doesn't matter. Well, because of the G20 summit that happened, and they signed a declaration to be on the same sets of regulations in terms of cryptocurrencies, what happens in the States could also possibly happen in other G20 countries. So, the Digital Chamber submits a pro-industry feedback. The Digital Chamber highlighted concerns for proposed guidelines and recommended only necessary information required for reporting of digital asset transactions by taxpayers by requested. As discussed further below, reviewing the draft form underscores the overbreadth of information requested by draft forms and burdens associated with tax reporting on that form. We recommend that the final form 1099-DA requests only information necessary to facilitate reporting of digital asset transactions by taxpayers. The proposed draft rolled out layers of regulations for taxpayers on crypto assets. These rules were tagged complex, and the sector pushed for less burdensome methods. Digital Chamber explained on X today that the proposed law requires sensitive data, including wallet addresses and transaction IDs. The crypto sector raised privacy concerns with several regulatory requirements for users to disclose their certain information. Do you remember when we were having the conversation on this live show about a few nights back? We had the conversation on this live show about a few nights back where we talked about privacy coins. And I said to everybody, essentially, CBDCs means no privacy, cryptocurrencies means some privacy, and then privacy coins in general just means ultimate privacy up to a extent. But compared to cryptocurrency CBDC, obviously they have ultimate privacy. And I said that once people catch on to the idea that their privacy is going down the toilet, essentially, they're going to be going towards privacy projects. And it's essentially what's happened here. So with the digital chambers coming out and saying that the IRS is asking for way too much information about your transactions on cryptocurrencies, they're essentially saying people could be drafting towards privacy essentially projects. So this sparked the growth of privacy coins to hide transactions and senders. Apart from privacy concerns, Digital Chamber noted that the draft should come with more detailed instructions for reporting and treating aspects of the ecosystem differently. Crypto enthusiasts back efforts. The virtual asset users support calls from the digital chambers to protect the privacy of taxpayers in that sector. The community also stressed the importance of positive crypto laws to increase investments within the space. Similarly, blockchain firms Consensus also wrote to the IRS asking to delay the implementation of rules, citing the burden it will have on firms. So the IRS wants to know every single transaction 24/7. They want to be able to track you 24/7 is what the IRS wants. And essentially, the crypto community is coming out and saying, we get the idea we need to pay taxes, but tracking us 24/7 seems a bit far too much to the IRS. The chamber has came out, the digital chambers has came out and said this, and so has Consensus. Consensus has came out and said that crypto companies are going to have difficulties trying to work with you on a 24/7 basis and reporting to you back to back, or you having access to transactions 24/7. That's going to be quite annoying, is what they're trying to say. So, what's happening inside the States on that matter could happen also in different jurisdictions around the world as well, with the government poking their nose into it 24/7 in terms of cryptocurrencies, in terms of cryptocurrency platforms or individuals. Essentially, they're going to be poking their nose in 24/7 on every transaction that you possibly do, except the transactions on privacy projects, because they're difficult to track. Not saying you should be going towards privacy projects, but that's just information, in other words. Not financial advice in any sort of a way. Evening, Pure, good to see you. How you doing? Ton, let's go. Pure, let's go. There is Ton coin and Ton token showing on Coinbase. It's the one that's around 7.5, not the one that's in a few pennies. Yes, facts. Let's go, Happy Pisces. Thank you for the information. And JP and Happy Pisces, thank you so much for helping Susie out with Ton. Now, Bloomberg today, Eric, has came out and given another perspective on the market space. Now, as I said previously, if you are new to this live show, Eric has been quite correct on market movements, and Eric is citing that today is a very important day for Ethereum ETFs. So, Bloomberg analyst says that today is the big day and explains what's coming and the date Ethereum ETFs will trade. Eric, a well-known ETF analyst at Bloomberg, made a significant prediction about the future of Ethereum ETFs. He expects the amendment S1 filings for Ethereum ETFs to be filed today, which they were, or evening, or essentially this afternoon in the US time. All of the S1 filings were filed in today, which perfectly, again, matched up to what Eric has been saying for a long time. Eric was the only one that guessed the exact timeline of the Bitcoin ETFs on the day it was going to be accepted. He was the only man that said the exact timeline on Ethereum ETFs, and it happened on the approval of the SEC. And now is the exact man again who said that the S1 filings are all going to be filed in today. Now, that could be due to also timelines as well. But he's also the same man that's saying July 2nd or July 4th is going to be the official approval of a launch to be happening. So, the ball then be in the Securities and Exchange Commission's court now the S1 filings have been done. The regulator is expected to inform the issuing companies about the latest changes and enable them to come into effect, which is the final approval required for the launch of these ETFs. Eric and his team maintain their prediction that Ethereum ETFs will launch by July 2nd. This forecast is based on an analysis of current market trends and regulatory environments. Bitwise updated its registration form earlier this week and announced that Pantoro Capital Management LP was interested in purchasing $100 million in shares as well. On yesterday's live show, I essentially announced the news that Pantoro Capital has about $100 million ready, apparently, to invest into Ethereum ETFs. And if they do, they can't sell within 6 months either. The SEC approved the E94 filings for 8 Ethereum ETFs last month, and the issuers still need to have their S1 filings go into effect before they can begin trading, which every single one of them filed it in. Now, the next news on tonight's live show to go through is regarding Michael Dell. Michael Dell has posted some content on X, and people are assuming, and even Michael Saylor is assuming, MSTR, MicroStrategy, billion-dollar Bitcoin company, even they are assuming that Michael Dell might be going towards Bitcoin, the same way MicroStrategy went towards Bitcoin and turned their entire company, backing their company essentially with Bitcoin, or the Metaplanet Japanese company that they essentially the exact same thing that MicroStrategy did, or the two Canadian companies that follow the same blueprints of MicroStrategy. Is Dell next to back their entire company with Bitcoin? We're going to go through that, but before we go through that, we'll start a comment section. July 2nd, you said. Yeah, I said that based on Eric, yeah. Now, Michael Dell. Michael Dell, interested in Bitcoin, says essentially scarcity creates value, and Michael Saylor agrees. Michael Dell, the CEO of Dell Technologies, indicated a possible interest in Bitcoin BTC. Through a series of social media interactions with Bitcoin prominent Michael Saylor. Michael Dell retweeted a Bitcoin supportive message from Michael Saylor, the executive chairman of MicroStrategy MSTR. The interaction started with a post from Dell stating that scarcity creates value, leading to Saylor's reply, Bitcoin is digital scarcity, which Dell retweeted. The dialogue continued with Dell later sharing a digitally modified image of Sesame Street's Cookie Monster, essentially consuming Bitcoin instead of cookies. MicroStrategy CEO Saylor has essentially guided the company to acquire 226,000 plus BTC, valued at around $14.9 billion as of June 20th. Over the past 4 years, he has also been advocating for other corporations to incorporate Bitcoin into their balance sheets as well. Michael Dell's interest in Bitcoin could potentially influence Dell Technologies' financial strategy. With a significant amount of cash and cash equivalents, $5.8 billion on its balance sheet, the company can invest in Bitcoin following the footsteps of MicroStrategy. This move creates a curiosity, rather, wherever Dell's interest will translate into action. The image tweeted received reactions from one of the biggest Bitcoin, essentially maxis, saying that, can you just tell us if you're going to buy Bitcoin for Dell? Because on your balance sheet, so I can get in early or not. So right now, people are coming out and essentially saying to Dell, well, Michael Dell, that if Dell Technologies is about to go for Bitcoin with their balance sheet around about, in terms of cash and cash equivalents, of $5.8 billion, Michael Saylor is excited that Michael Dell is going to be coming into the game. And if he does, yes, it's definitely going to help Bitcoin reach again, some sort of new heights, depending on how much they come in with. Also, if Michael Dell comes through, then you could possibly see other companies that are similar to Dell entering the game as well. You can see Samsung possibly entering the game because of Dell entering. You could say other, essentially, similarities in terms of technology bases entering the field as well. All it takes is for one to tiptoe into blockchain from the corporate sector, and other companies in its own category will start to follow. All it took was for one bank to get involved inside the crypto space, and all of a sudden, all banks wanted to start taking interest. Some are doing research, some have actually entered. All it took was for one company to put a Bitcoin ETF on the balance sheets, and then the rest of the companies want to essentially follow. All it took was for one company to back their entire company with Bitcoin, which was MicroStrategy. And then we had Metaplanet from Japan doing the exact same thing, backing their company with Bitcoin, or two Canadian companies backing their company with Bitcoin. So in general, inside the corporate sector, it only takes one company from that category they're in to tiptoe into cryptocurrencies. The rest will just follow. That's just how it works inside the corporate sector. Because some don't like taking that risk, even though in the movies they will tell you businesses always take risks. In reality, they don't. They take risks, but calculated risks. And going to cryptocurrencies is volatile for them. However, when they see somebody in their own category in the corporate sector tiptoeing into cryptocurrencies and it works out well for them, they tend to follow each other. Just wait when they found out about XLP facts. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show is regarding Pantera Capital. Pantera Capital is seeking an additional capital for TON investments. Pantera Capital has already invested in TON in the early days, TON, which is essentially a chain that was developed by Telegram and then dropped by Telegram. And then essentially, because of the SEC, later on, some developers came along and brought that project back to life. It was already back to life. It's just the reason why it was because Telegram had to drop the program because the SEC was going to sue Telegram for launching TON. So they dropped it, some developers picked it up, and then they partnered with TON. Either way, TON, 900 million users. And Pantera Capital was one of the early investors in TON. And now, Pantera Capital is getting ready to invest more money in TON chain. I'm telling you right now, everybody's looking into Solana. Everybody's looking into essentially Base. You need to start looking into TON as well. TON's ecosystem is going to absolutely go ballistic. Not financial advice in any sort of way, and not overnight at all, over time. We're going to go through that news, but before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Because, again, regarding TON, Solana would dream of having 900 million users. Base would also dream of having 900 million users. TON has access to 900 million users because of Telegram. It's their only chain. I can't believe with all that news, it's still hard to convince someone to invest in crypto. Facts. What's up, Miles of CMF? Bill, let's go. Actually, I was having that conversation with a member of the CMF regarding... So sometimes I get members of the CMF direct messaging me and saying, for me to help them convince somebody to be inside the crypto space. So sometimes I'll get people, sometimes I get members of the CMF and, people messaging me and saying, convince this influencer that he's wrong, or convince that person inside the crypto space that he's wrong. And I say normally that you can't save everybody. It's not possible. Because I do get quite a lot of messages sometimes on regarding that matter. People will message me and say, convince this person he's wrong, he's not listening to the facts, or convince this influencer he's wrong. They'll send me videos and say, convince this person. And I say, look, you can't save everybody. Some people are just meant to go on their own journey. If it's wrong or right. And then when it is the wrong journey, because it is, they'll realize their own mistakes. Hoping they find out sooner it's the wrong journey and they don't get trapped on CBDCs. But you can't convince everybody. So regarding, Camel, what Camel has just said as well, because that's just what remind me of. I can't believe with all that news, it's still hard to convince someone to invest in crypto. With all the news of corporates and banks and so on coming, and what projects to look into in terms of utility. When people message me, convince this person, convince that person, convince this influencer he's wrong, I say, look, you can't save everybody. Some people are just immune to facts and common sense. And the They're meant to go on their own journey, even if it is the wrong path, for them to realize it's the wrong path, hoping they realize, obviously, before they trap into CBDCs. Is what I always say. And it goes back to that saying as well, the saying that I always do say as well, which is a wise person would choose to learn from other people's mistakes. A moron would have to go through the mistake to realize it is a mistake. But a wise person will always choose to learn from other people's mistakes. It's just faster that way. But some morons like to go through their own mistake for them to realize it's a mistake. Is Dell going straight for BTC and not ETF, correct? Yes, by the looks of it, Dell might be going to, well, they can go towards BTC ETFs as well. So he hasn't made it clear. So Dell hasn't made it clear if they're going to go for BTC ETFs or they're going to go for BTC. If they follow MicroStrategy's footsteps, they're going to go for BTC itself. If they follow, essentially other corporates, they're going to go for BTC ETFs. So let's see which way they go. People are asleep. They are facts. Lena, good to see you. How you doing? Lena, I still got to send you that thing. I haven't forgotten. Apologies for the lateness. Where do you see Ton alternate this run? Ton could reach incredibly nice figures as long as it carries on this path. Now, Ton is sitting at right now at around $7. There's about $17.5 billion inside of it in terms of market cap, and then fully diluted market cap is around 36 billion. And supply, circular supply, we're looking at 2.46, and total supply, we're looking at 5 billion. Look, this coin could easily do, even the 24-hour volume was $298 million today. But this coin could easily touch 10 and above. Not overnight, over time. Easily. Over time. Now, Miles, would you consider Ton in your long-term portfolio? I would. I would consider Ton in my long-term portfolio. But there's also one thing about Ton as well, which is it's very intertwined with USDT. I hope that doesn't, essentially damage their progress. If it does, it creates a, amazing buying opportunity. I realize that I can't save everyone, even though I actually hold the key to wealthy life. Facts. Good evening, Miles of CMF. Bull XRP, good to see you. How you doing? Yeah, you can only help people who want to be helped. So if you have somebody who wants to, understand cryptocurrencies, then that person you can help. But trying to convince someone who doesn't like cryptocurrencies, who doesn't want a better life for themselves, and who doesn't want to realize the world is changing, then you can't, convince that person. It's like talking to a brick wall. Everything you say will just bounce off. It's not possible. So, good evening, Miles and CMF, Bull XRP, good to see you. How you doing? People just don't want to believe. Yep. Even those facts. Happy Friday, Miles, and family. Let's go. Hope all is well, though. Ray, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Miles, my cousin, invested 35,000, and right now his balance is about 15,000, and it's hard for me to get him to stay. He just wants to cash out and call it a loss. Okay, funky brother. Your cousin has put 35,000 inside a market space. His balance is around £15,000, and it's hard for him, and he wants to get out. I'll be honest. If he wanted to, essentially jump inside the market space, take a loss, and leave the market space, he should have never entered the market space in the first place, because his emotions are getting in the way of whatever he's holding. I'm hoping he's holding legitimate projects. I'm hoping he didn't blow most of his money on meme coins or so on. I'm hoping that he got inside the market space at good timings and not when it was high. If he wants to cash out, it is his decision if he wants to cash out. Obviously, not financial wise in a sort of way, but everybody has the right to buy in whenever they want with their own thoughts and knowledge, and sell whenever they want as well. Me personally, I wouldn't right now. Selling is not the option right now at all. Buying essentially projects that are still down for me is an option. Not all projects are good pricing. Some projects are still very good pricing. Some projects are still a little bit too high. But if your cousin invested 35,000 and now he's sitting at £15,000 and he thinks about jumping up, I don't know what projects he's holding. I don't know when he jumped inside the market space. But what I can tell you is he should have never entered the market space because he's letting his emotions get in the way, which is the worst thing you could do inside of any market space. I've always said keep your emotions outside the market space. So what? You took a loss from 35,000 to 15,000. There are people that have taken massive losses and they're still in the game. But if you want to jump out, it's their decision. But never let your emotions get in the middle of things. Don't enter the market with emotions. If you enter the market with emotions, all you're doing is adding liquidity to the pot. Your cousin basically just added liquidity to the pot, which was the worst thing you could do. Hello, Miles of CMF. I hope that you had a good day. My day went well. Let's go, Scott. How you doing? And regarding cousin, I wish him the best. And I hope that he realizes that the path he's going down might not be the good one. He'll realize that later when he sells. Now, the only thing that holds me not to buy Ton is that it stays at number 9 and number 10, and I don't believe it will take XRP's place. No, it won't take XRP's place. No chance. How are your parents? How are you? And how's your business? My business is very well, Scott. Thanks so much for asking. My parents are doing also well as well. Thanks so much for asking as well. How you doing, Scott? How's things? But convinced around 15 to 20 people, so I'm proud of that. Let's go, Camel. You convinced 15 to 20 people? Let's go. When I'm in the big box stores like Home Depot, etc., I have Miles and other crypto experts on speakerphone while I'm shopping. Not one person looks at me when they hear the word Bitcoin or crypto. It was a movie star's news about Kim Kardashian. They broke up. It's true. It is true, you know. So happy Pisces when she goes to, these big Home Depot type of stores. So Home Depot, she has me playing in the background on the live show talking about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, and not a single person will turn around when I mention Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. But she's saying if she was watching a video about Kim Kardashian, most likely people will turn around. It's true. Well, those people are going to be on CBDCs. Some people are just meant to be poor. That's why I say you can't help everyone. Life's all about choices. You make the right choices, good things happen. You make the bad choices, it's downhill from there. Hi, Miles of CMF. Denise, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? I'm asking him to stay and put for a little while longer, although he's holding utility tokens. He's holding utility tokens and he wants to jump out now? Ooh. Yeah, he's definitely going to regret that move. Again, not financial advice in any sort of way. But that's a very bad move to jump out. I personally wouldn't jump out of utility projects right now. That when we have more banks inside the crypto space, more licensing, more regulations, more corporates inside the crypto space, more ETFs than ever before, more corporates going towards tokenizations, which is basically a new avenue stream for finance. It's the worst time to jump out of the market space in utility projects, especially. If I personally jumped out of utility projects now, I would feel that mistake for the rest of my life. What good projects are down now, making them good opportunities? The finance projects. Do you think this is the golden moment of buying the maximum, or you believe there is another dip? Some projects are already at their losses. They can go maybe a few cents more down. But some projects are still reasonably high priced. But some projects are still down because they haven't done their movements yet. Plus, it's unrealized loss, brother. Exactly. I see tons equivalent to price of Ethereum in a few years. I see that too. I'm dollar cost averaging XRP, XLM, XDC, ACH, HBAR, and MDT. Let's go, Scott. Just don't. Ton, let's go. Morning, Miles and CMF. Shelly, good to see you as well. How you doing, Shelly? How you been? It's unrealized losses, so nothing to worry about. Yeah. Retail isn't interested in crypto. Unfortunately, that's true. Leroy, let's go. Facts. Miles, you jumped my question about AJX. Ooh, Tor, I'm sorry about that. What was your question? Do you think this is the golden moment? That was your question. Do you think this is the golden moment about buying maximum, or you believe there's going to be another? I already answered that question. Was another one above? The only thing that holds me not to buy Ton is that it stays at number 10. Yep, I already answered that one as well. Before that, you didn't have any questions. I think your AGX question didn't come up inside the comment section in general. So, Tor, retype your AGX question again. I've been doing that for over a year and a half, and I'm in a box store 4 times a week, easily, always on speakerphone. If anybody asks me, was that Bitcoin? Did I hear? I would be happy to share the Mouse's channel, etc. Happy, but nobody flinches. Well, you can tell how many people are going to be on CBDCs. And also, it's an indication of why the world will never change, because people are easily distracted by nonsense. But when it comes to knowledge, it's like they're immune to it. Harry, good to see you. Well, how you doing? How you been? I will buy utility tokens at a discount. Let's go, Scott. Hi, Miles and CMF. George, good to see you. Well, how you doing? Do you see TON outperforming ICP? Yes, definitely. I'm not saying ICP is a bad project in any sort of a way, but TON outperforming it? Yes. 900 million users. Again, Solana would dream of having 900 million users. Base would dream of having 900 million users. Coinbase in general would dream of having 900 million users. But so would ICP. They would dream of having 900 million holders. But Telegram has that, which means TON has access to it because it's their only chain. It was developed by Telegram. Now, Pantera Capital. Pantera Capital seeks additional capital for TON investments. Pantera Capital, a prominent venture capital firm, has announced a new funding initiative aimed at increasing its investments in the Open Network's Toncoin, TON. This week, the firm initiated a campaign to gather additional capital for the Pantera TON investment opportunity, aiming to secure further investments in the digital currency. Pantera Capital has billions to their names. Pantera Capital has also got $1 billion ready to invest into AI crypto projects. They have $100 million ready, according to their own words, for maybe jumping in Ethereum ETFs when they're approved and not to sell for 6 months. And they were also an early investor in TON, and now they're going back to TON as well. The firm initiated a campaign to gather additional capital for the Pantera TON investment opportunity, aiming to secure further investments in the digital currency. An email disclosed invited potential investors to join this latest initiative round, highlighting a minimum stake of $250,000 per participant. An email that was sent out to Pantera's clients, essentially, that they can jump in this whole TON adventure for a minimum fee of $250,000. The growth and developments in TON network. Following its largest investment in TON tokens earlier this year, Pantera Capital is reinforcing its commitment to the cryptocurrency. The venture capital firm emphasized that the TON network's promising growth and recent increase in users' adoption facilitated by new features. Notably, Telegram, which supports the network, has integrated a new ad revenue sharing model paying out in TON tokens. Furthermore, the TON blockchain has seen a substantial increase in activity with the recent launch of their USDT on its network and the rapid adoption rates surpassing previous records. Pantera's strategy reflects a strong belief in the potential of TON network as it continues to evolve and expand its ecosystems. This Pantera Capital move underscores the increasing interest in blockchain technologies and digital currencies, particularly in an environment where mainstream adoption is becoming more evident. I would personally say that Telegram, essentially, I would say TON effectively is obviously a better project in terms of speed and reliability and not getting congested than its competitor, which is essentially Solana. Because Solana crashed 11 times. If you've been in the crypto space for this long, you would know that Solana's crashed 11 times if you ever used Solana. And I said to everybody that the last time I tried to use Solana, which was about a few days ago, I tried to process a transaction through Solana, and it basically failed 11 times before it went through. And I said, if this is the future, I would rather not go towards it. Because I was trying to do a transaction on Solana, and it failed 11 times, which is laughable, before it went through on the 12th time. But you never get these issues with TON. Now, also the 900 million users helps. The next news we're going to talk about is Standard Chartered Bank on tonight's live show. But before we go through that, Standard Chartered Bank and venturing into crypto spot trading, we're going to go through the comment section first. Now again, if you are holding Solana, I wish you the best and I hope you do very well in life. Miles, I'm trying to turn Sorry, let me go back up because I think I missed quite a bit of questions. I think I was here. ICP as a touchy subject today, lol. Inside Telegram group, yeah. Miles, I'm trying to turn $1,000, I'm guessing, into $10,000 with futures trading. If I lose, it's $1,000 out of my XRP. Be right. Wish you the best, brother. Wish you the best. I hope you do incredibly well and you reach your target and even more. Do you see the market going up soon? In terms of market space, yes. If I achieve it, it's 10,000 to my XRP bag. What do you think? Sure, why not? Miles, you keep saying Telegram has 900 million subscribers, but it's not right to say that every single one of them will invest into Ton. Now, here's the thing. Good that you pointed this out, and I'll explain to you why I keep on saying that. So, Funky Brother has just said that, Miles, you keep on saying Telegram has 900 million subscribers or users. Telegram has 900 million users. But it's not right to say that every single one will invest into Ton. Here's the thing, it's not optional. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what do you mean it's not optional? You don't have a choice. You have to go for Ton? Yes, technically. Here's the thing. Telegram has 900 million users. Now, we're not expecting these users to individually go out by themselves and 900 million users go inside the crypto space and buy Ton by themselves. No. However, because Telegram is going to become an everything app, and if you want to use those features on Telegram, you have to have Ton. So which means eventually those users will have to get Ton to be able to use Telegram later or sooner or later. Also, second, people are going to start getting paid on Telegram as well. Just like X pays you out for content, TikTok will pay you the TikTok beta program, and Facebook will pay you, Instagram will pay you, YouTube will pay you. Telegram is going to start paying people, content creators as well. They're going to turn their Telegram app into a massive content app, also alongside everything else. It's going to become an everything app. And the wages are also going to be in Ton. Everything that happens on Telegram, the wages are going to be in Ton. People who are going to essentially buy ad space, companies that are going to essentially be buying ad space on Telegram are going to be paying in Ton. No dollars is accepted, essentially. Everything is going to be in Ton. They're going to accept USDT, but USDT is also on Ton. So why I keep on saying 900 million users, I'm not saying 900 million users are going to go individually outside of the market space and buy Ton for themselves. No, I'm saying eventually those 900 million users are going to be trapped on Ton, because if they ever want to use Telegram with all of its features that's coming out, they have to use Ton, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I keep on saying 900 million users. It's because they have no choice. Telegram is going to be paying people's wages in Ton. You're going to get paid a wage in Ton. You know how if you do YouTube AdSense, you get paid in dollars. If you do Instagram, you get paid in dollars. If you do, you get paid on X from content, you get paid in dollars through Stripe. Yeah, on Telegram, they're going to start paying creators for producing content in Ton. You want to buy ad space on Telegram, you pay in Ton. Anything you do, it's on Ton. So sooner or later, those 900 million users will be on Ton. It's not optional. It seems optional, but in reality, it isn't. That's what I mean when I say 900 million users. I already hold more XRP than I ever thought I would when I first started, so I'm happy risking something new. Let's go, Camel. Oh yes, thank you for the clarification, Brother Miles. You're the top man. Let's go, Funky Brother. Imagine if TikTok paid the users with Ton instead of dollars. Exactly. If only 10% start using Ton, it's like 90 million. That's how Ton is valued. You have to be on Telegram Premium? Nope. For some reason, the AJX question doesn't appear. That's so weird. I will ask it again on X. No problem. That's an excellent question. It was, honestly, Funky Brother, that was an excellent question to ask. Happy Pisces is correct. Funky Brother, that was an excellent question to ask, because a lot of people were probably confused every time I said 900 million users. So, excellent question, honestly, Funky Brother, to ask. Because now it's clarified for everybody why I keep on saying 900 million users. That's an excellent question to ask about Ton's users. This is where we learn so much information. That's not that explained in detail on the mainstream. Thank you, Miles and Funky. Let's go, Happy Pisces. Yeah, honestly, Funky Brother, perfect question. Can we mine Ton? I don't presume you can, no. But on Ton's ecosystem, there is a lot of projects on Ton's ecosystem that you can actually mine, which I'll get them involved in our Telegram group if you want. Let me see which ones are good, and then in our Telegram group I'll put them. But let me just see which ones are good, because there's also a lot of when it comes to crypto space, there's the good side and the bad side. So let me find out the good side and filter them out and go for the legitimate ones. I'll put them inside the Telegram group. Hi everyone, Ripple, good to see you. How you doing? Late but made it. Evening everyone. Sempro, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? So now do you see why I say Solana would dream of having 900 million users, Base would dream of having 900 million users, Telegram and Ton already have 900 million users. Sooner or later they do. I'm holding AJX on crypto.com. It's not a lot anyways, but wondering if they are going to do the same as what Binance is doing. That was your question on AJX. Crypto.com should do, yes. If Binance is doing it, crypto.com should also do that as well. But I'll check into it if you want, but also check on their social media pages. The latest for mining is Hamster on Ton's ecosystem. Hi Shelly, if you're about, is what it said. I have limited funds, so I'm only investing in one asset. Is it wise to concentrate on that, or can I diversify into Ton too? You could diversify into Ton, why not? Small amounts, why not? Now, diversify it into dollar cost averaging style. Don't go, purchasing in bulk, because the price could go a little bit more down. You can catch on a better price as well if you dollar cost average. Not financial advice in any sort of a way. It's just what I would do personally if I was going to go for it. Now, Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank is heavily involved inside the crypto sector. They have their own crypto platforms, Zodiac Custody, and now they're essentially, with all their partnerships that they do have in terms of Ripple, SBI Holdings, and so on and so on, Metico, now they're going to be opening up their doors to crypto in terms of spot. Bitcoin and Ether trading desk closer, say Standard Chartered. Standard Chartered Bank announced a Bitcoin and Ether ETF trading desk in London. The new London-based desk will initiate operations soon, making Standard Chartered Bank the first global bank to function a spot cryptocurrency trading. The first global bank to be offering spot tradings. Bitcoin and Ether gaining wider institutional exposure. Cryptocurrencies like BTC and ETH are gaining wider institutional adoption as global banks enter the cryptocurrency market. The upcoming desk will make it effortless for individuals to buy, sell, and trade digital assets, including BTC and ETH. Wu Blockchain shared the news on X. Standard Chartered PLC is setting up a trading desk for Bitcoin and Ether people. People familiar with the matter said that, making it one of the first global banks to enter spot cryptocurrency trading. It will run from London. The new crypto desk is close to starting operations. We have been working closely with our regulators to support demand from our institutional clients to trade Bitcoin and Ethereum on spot trading, in line with our strategy to support clients, stated Standard Chartered. The bank is a digital asset blockchain supporter and is strengthening its roots in the crypto industry. Standard Chartered's support for blockchain in September 2023, the bank expanded its presence in Singapore market by launching a subsidiary named Zodiac Custody. And the move essentially made Zodiac the first entity to offer crypto custody services for banks and financial institutions in Pacific regions. The simple functioning of Zodiac Custody is to help large institutions store their crypto and motives to expand their roots across the Asia Pacific, to fulfill growing digital asset services. Hedge funds and traders to asset managers, prime brokers, and exchanges are all Zodiac clients. Apart from the introduction of Zodiac, Standard Chartered also invested in Patro in November 2022 to become the founding shareholder. Furthermore, it integrated a distributed ledger technology DLT transaction system with its core banking system. And the financial institutions move represents a technological advancements in the banking systems, along with the development of seamless secure, and efficient global payment systems. Moreover, the bank is committed to constructing a transparent and secure blockchain banking ecosystem using blockchain innovation. Honestly, what Standard Chartered Bank is doing is going to be a massive movement. Genuinely, what Standard Chartered Bank is doing is going to be a massive movement, because it's going to be, first of all, the first global bank to be offering spot trading. Now, they're only not going to be offering Bitcoin and Ethereum, forever. They're going to be offering Bitcoin and Ethereum and then expand into other cryptocurrencies. That's just how it's going to work out. One project that Standard Chartered is most likely going to be launching next on their platform is XRP, believe it or not. Mainly because Standard Chartered Bank is partnered with Ripple through themselves, and also through Metico and through Zodiac Custody as well. So once this case drops, you're going to be hearing XRP quite a lot everywhere. All those contracts are going to get visible. Now, RF Jr. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also, trying to go for the presidential elections. It's not just, obviously the two main candidates is Sleepy Joe and Trump. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also another candidate that wants to become president of the United States. Now, Robert F. Kennedy has always been an advocate for cryptocurrencies, same as Trump. However, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in my perspective, now has lost the plot. This man has genuinely lost the plot. Because I don't know who's feeding this information to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but whoever's feeding this information to him is false. So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promises to pardon the Silk Road's Ross Ulbricht if elected. Now, you might be wondering what is Silk Road and who is Ross? Well, Silk Road was the first ever e-commerce website for Bitcoin, essentially. Silk Road was the first ever e-commerce for Bitcoin, but it was on the other side of the market, not the white market, but the black market, essentially, was essentially Silk Road. And on Silk Road, you could pretty much buy anything. Nothing was out of reach on Silk Road. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of what you could have possibly brought on Silk Road, and nobody mentioned inside the comment section either. But you could have pretty much brought anything you wanted on Silk Road, on the black market. And it was the first ever e-commerce that accepted Bitcoin in the world. And then obviously when Silk Road was tracked down, their Bitcoin was also taken from them, and Silk Road founders were essentially sent to prison because of all the things that was happening on Silk Road, and they would look the other way. And the United States presidential candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., took to social media on promising to free Silk Road founder Ross if elected this November. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., first of all, if elected, is going to pardon the man that pretty much let anybody sell anything or anyone on his platform for Bitcoin. I'll be honest, I thought Sleepy Joe, I genuinely thought, nobody can be dumber than Biden. I'll be honest. I didn't think it was physically or mentally possible for anybody to be, dumber than Sleepy Joe. I mean, Sleepy Joe can't walk, he can't run, he can't talk, he can't write, he can't speak, he can't sit, he can't stand. And I genuinely thought there was nobody dumber than Sleepy Joe. But I mean, we're reaching new levels of, new heights of dumb, because how can a US, candidate for to become president trying to be freeing a man that had the first e-commerce website on the black market that sold anything and anyone? Again, not going on detail what they sold, but you can get a gist of what they sold on that e-commerce website. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. alluded that the drone nature of Ross' 2 life sentences for what he categorized as hosting an e-commerce platform. Yes, an e-commerce platform that sold anything and anyone. And shared the petition to demand the release of Silk Road founder. He's demanding the release of Silk Road founder. I'll be honest, I genuinely thought there was nobody dumber than, Sleepy Joe. But this is a new height. The real crypto president Former President Donald Trump has dominated the headlines and captured the attention of the crypto community due to his recent outshowings and support for the industry. Thus, so far, the 2024 GOP presidential candidates has successfully branded himself as a crypto president and thrusting the issue of cryptocurrencies into the national spotlight. What Trump is doing for cryptocurrencies, I get. Crypto is freedom, Bitcoin mining, yes, yes, yes. I understand all of that, what Trump is doing. So Trump is in a safe area of cryptocurrencies. Sleepy Joe, well, he's Sleepy Joe. And then you have this moron, Robert F. Kennedy. I genuinely never thought he would be a moron, but he is a moron. Who wants to free a man that basically had a platform that sold anything and anyone. So, however, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s previous comments about actions reveal a level of support for the blockchain revolution that goes beyond mere campaign as well. In 2023, the presidential hopeful proposed backings the United States dollar with Bitcoin and eliminating the capital gains tax on scarce of digital assets to help stabilize the price of overprinted global reserve currencies. The independent candidate also revealed that he purchased Bitcoin for each of his 7 children, following criticisms from other people that he was promoting an asset that had no exposure to. And at that time, Kennedy told audiences on Twitter Space, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and essentially go for Bitcoin. So, honestly, I'll be honest, Kennedy was doing smart movements. Kennedy was going towards Bitcoin, crypto assets, and so on and so on. And he was also saying quite knowledgeable things about cryptocurrencies. But I don't know if this new idea, this revelation of he's demanding to release somebody that had a platform like that, I don't know if he got the information himself, if he came to this conclusion by himself, or someone feeding him BS information to share on news. But it does not add up in any sort of a way. And Kennedy also taken a strong position against central bank digital currencies, which I understand, citing privacy concerns and the lack of structural integrity in the traditional banking system as a reason to oppose the creation of CBDCs, something Trump has also publicly opposed as well. More recently, the independent candidate proposed a radical solution of placing the entire US physical budget on the blockchain for unparalleled transparency, efficiency, and above all, accountability at this time. No other US politician has dared to make such a bold proposal. These are all the proposals that came from Robert F. Jr. Kennedy, which are all great proposals. You know, him saying, put the American debt essentially on blockchain so it's more transparent. Make voting on the blockchain so it's more transparent. Let's go into cryptocurrencies, into Bitcoin. All these were great ideas. And then somewhere down the line, he comes up with this, essentially free the man that owned a e-commerce website that sold anything or anyone. Pardoning American descendants en vogue for 2024 election. As the 2024 election year heats up and November approaches, pardoning American descendants has become somewhat of a vague, essentially, topic for presidential candidates, including former President Trump, RF Kennedy Jr., and former GOP candidate Vivek Ramsey as well. Vivek Ramsey, who dropped out of the race earlier this year and endorsed Trump, previously indicated that he would pardon Julian and other non-violent, essentially, prisoners on the day one. The former GOP candidate is widely expected to part of the president's future's cabinets if Trump wins re-election in 2024, with Trump stating he's going to be with us in some form. When asked about independent journalist Tim Pool about the possibilities of freeing ascending former President Trump, responded that he was very seriously considering pardoning the WikiLeaks founder. That I get. The person that created WikiLeaks, sure, free him, because he didn't create an e-commerce platform that sold anything or anyone. RF Jr. Kennedy has stated that he would pardon Ross and whistleblower Ed Snowden, which I understand. If you want to free Ed Snowden, why not? Edward Snowden should be freed. That I get. Ross, I'll never get. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show is Bybit announces a restock of BTC Wealth Management Fund. We're going to go through that, but before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. But yeah, that news was absolutely absurd regarding Robert F. Jr. Kennedy trying to say free Ross. What an absolute moron. Now, before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. And by the way, if you're watching this for the first time, I read everybody's comments one by one. So if you have a question, put it inside the comment section. Let's see where we were. We were at this question, I think. Am I the only one who is not excited about the case ending so soon? I want to keep buying XRP at a low price because my pockets are not so due. Why not? You always look smart, Miles. And in addition, thanks for your informative information before it's live on the web. Ripple, thanks so much for the kind words. Silk Road was a market for many criminals. Yes, facts. Thompson, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Sounds like Kennedy is getting bad advice. He's probably not into crypto, or that guy has got something on him. Happy Pisces. I was thinking on the same thing again. Every time I think about something, it's either Happy Pisces that's thinking the same thing as me, or JP that's thinking the same thing as me as well. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Does Ross have something on Robert Kennedy, or is someone feeding Robert Kennedy essentially bad information? He can still sniff hair through miles. Kennedy just lost his shot as a candidate, as his candidacy. Honestly, correct HB. He's not a stupid man. Generally, that's true. Honestly, Robert Kennedy is not really a stupid man in generally, but that was just absurd what he said. Bitcoin is blood money. Bad looks of it. It was already hyped with no substance behind it, which is also true. Everyone will be back in crypto from now on, even Sleepy Joe. That is true. Apparently, there's rumors going around that Sleepy Joe is getting involved in crypto. Obviously, it's not Sleepy Joe himself, because Sleepy Joe doesn't even know we call him Sleepy Joe. I mean, he doesn't even know what blockchain is. Everyone will be backing. Yeah, they will be definitely. I love my CMF for real. Let's go, Scott. Hit the like. Let's go, Messi. Facts. Bitcoin is nothing more than a test of an experiment. It is the way it was launched, yes. People that want to put down crypto don't realize that fiat does exactly what crypto does and how it's used to do so. So we get rid of that. So we get rid of fiat. No, which is true. Snowden can never be truly free. That's also true as well. CIA will kill when it comes to US, which is also true. Sad but true. Just brought some more Luna's C because Luna's going to be burning their tokens. Is that why? As an American, I squint when I see citizens and foreigners trying to make difference between these old and corrupt politicians. Fair point, Scott. It's a shame, and that was a bad move. Yeah, definitely was a bad move from Robert F. Kennedy. I don't know why he would come out with some absurd information on freeing a man that did that. But the WikiLeaks, I get. If you want to free the man that created WikiLeaks, yes, sure, why not? You want to free Edward Snowden? Yes, sure, why not? But Silk Road Ross? No, keep Silk Road Ross away from people. Now, Bybit. Bybit announces restock of BTC wealth management funds. Now, you might be wondering, what is a BTC wealth management fund from essentially Bybit? Well, it's a fund they created for essentially institutions to get involved in BTC through Bybit. Now, Bybit, when they did this the first time around, it was rapid sales. They're going to be doing it again now. So Bybit, ranking among the top 3 cryptocurrency exchanges globally by volume, is excited to announce the forthcoming restock of its Bitcoin wealth management fund pool. The initial rounds of this offering essentially gathered substantial interest, demonstrating its immense popularity and success. During the soft launch, the first time they did a launch of their BTC wealth management fund on June 3rd was the first time. And Bybit introduced a total of 100 BTC to the wealth management fund pool, which impressively sold out in just 7 hours. The first time essentially Bybit did a soft launch of BTC fund, wealth management fund for institutions only to go through Bybit. It sold out in 7 hours. Institutions went in rapid fire. This offering specially targeted high net worth individuals as well, VIP customers and asset managers. The first restock of 50 BTCs made available on June 5th was also similarly oversubscribed with an astonishing 5 hours, and everything was sold out, reflecting the sustained demand and enthusiasm from Bybit's esteemed user base. Now, the upcoming second round of restock is set to be the more inexclusive one, welcoming both VIP customers and regular users, scheduled for June 21st, June 22nd. 21st, 22nd, this round promises to offer some of its most competitive rates in the industry. Bybit is thrilled to provide another chance for users to engage in this lucrative investment opportunity. The company emphasizes commitment to cater to diverse investor audience and essentially ensure equal opportunities for all participants. Bybit's wealth management service is designed to empower users to manage, plan, and invest their digital assets efficiently. The service also offers an area of professional investment strategies and diverse portfolios tailored to help users achieve their investment goals and confidence with precision. So, also regarding 21st, it's because I'm in London right now, so it's 22nd. So technically yesterday, but it's only because it's 12:35 a.m. because it's tomorrow. But it's 21st. It was essentially launched. Now, that is also great news as well regarding the interest that's coming in from the corporate sector and how quick they're selling out in terms of launching these pools for wealth management to come into it. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show. This news is quite important if you own a ledger. Ledger has came out and said there's a new scam happening and that everybody that's using a ledger should be careful about. We're going to go through that news, but before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's go inside the comment section. Let's see where we were. We were at here. See, yep. That is absolutely correct in regards to the Lunar Sea. Yep. Miles, I'm laughing my head off. Let's go Ripple. Free Julian Assange. Burn Lunar Sea Burn. Let's go Thompson. You're funny and serious and messy. Ripple, let's go. Thank you for the kind words. Miles, what's your goals in 2 years and in 5 years? Good question. What's my goals in 2 years and 5 years? Well, for CoinMove to be well established by 2 years to 5 years, to be well established, for me to be able to start up my foundation, my parents' names, and to be able to, because as I said, I don't want to retire. I'm not the type of person that would retire. I'm the type of person that will probably just go at it until my last breath. So in terms of retiring, it's never going to happen. Some people like to, get the money and retire on an island or a beach somewhere, or live in Monaco, or live in Dubai, or so on and so on. For me, it's getting my company to where it needs to be, set up the foundation on my parents' name, and then trying to create a purpose for people who essentially have no hope. So instead of helping people who are homeless or helping people in countries that are not doing too well, by giving them food and water, it's temporarily. When I see people giving someone food or water, it's temporarily, which I admire, somebody doing this. But the idea for me is to give them a purpose, to give them a career and so on and so on. So I can do that through the foundation I'm going to set up with my parents' names. So nothing's changed for me. I've always said since day one, I'm going to be doing this, and it's still en route. So for me, number one is CoinMove in 2 to 5 years is going to be up and running, because CoinMove is also going to be backing the foundation I'm going to put on my parents' names to be able to give people a purpose. Because you can feed someone, you can give someone water and food, but that's not, you could do more, which is human beings need a purpose. If you give someone a purpose to live, a purpose, to have fun, a purpose to do something, then they'll live longer and a happier life. So for me, it's to give people who aren't doing too well in countries that are much more poorer, or people living in the countries that I'm in that aren't doing too well, to give them a purpose, to give them a career, to give them a life through the foundation. But I need CoinMove to be up and running in 2 to 5 years, essentially bringing a substantial amount of volume for me to be doing this foundation on my parents' names. And that is essentially what I'm going to be doing, not just in 2 to 5 years, but as an eternity until I die. So I'm never retiring, essentially. I'm always going to be doing this. No retirement for me. But yeah, some people prefer to, essentially make their money in crypto, set up a company, or buy a couple of properties and, live in Monaco or Dubai or so. And why not? It's your life. You get to live it once. Do whatever makes you happy. For me, that makes me more happy than sitting on an island drinking, pina colada. Giving someone else a purpose, giving multiple people a purpose, that gives me more joy than me sitting on some island having a drink. Now, even though I wouldn't mind a drink. Now, Ledger is the next news we're going to go through. Just a quick question. Based on your question, Messi, what would you do what's your goals in 2 to 5 years? Messi, what's your goals in 2 to 5 years? And just out of curiosity, what's everyone's goals in 2 to 5 years? Just out of curiosity. CMF members or non-CMF members, if you're watching this for the first time ever, what's your goals, based on Messi's question, in 2 to 5 years? what's your life goals in 2 to 5 years? If you're inside the crypto space, if you're CMF member or non-CMF member, you're watching this for the first time ever on YouTube or X, depending on where you're watching this from right now. What is your goals in 2 to 5 years? I understand about the SEC and regulations, but institutions have partnered with Ripple and are also more than likely stockpiled and are using XRP. So why is the price still so cheap? Surely the price should be, if not a lot yet, but still more than 48 cents. No, John, it's because they're not ridiculously using it any sort of a way. The case needs to be dropped. The case needs to be dropped for it to go essentially actually be used on a global type of basis. It's not being used that much. It is being used, but not on the level that we need it to be. And that's only due to the case. My phone is damaged, so bear with me. When we get rich, we will support CoinMove. Let's go, Messi. Miles, I'm so proud of you. Son from another mother. Let's go, Shelly. Hi, Miles. So sorry, very late on tonight. Hope you're cool. Let's go, Addy. How you doing? Financial freedom. Let's go, funky brother. Have my rehab center up and running. Let's go, JP. My goal is to build a CEX. I want CEX to be a known name someday. Let's go, Camel. Lord Rothbone did after that. The war paid people to dig tunnels for no reason but to give them money for food and a purpose in Liverpool. A large salt pool would be great. I always have an excellent vehicle. Let's go, Susie. To be free, my family and I. Why not? One of the best goals in life. To work inside the crypto space and, to your point, not only make money at it, but guide people in some way, shape, or form with the new financial world and get them out of the dark. My own business, product ideas, publish a book. Let's go, happy Pisces. Amazing. Hey, Miles, how you doing? Dump truck and trucking business. Daniel, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? And you want to do a dump truck and trucking business. Let's go. Why not? Save the young British people living on the streets. Let's go, Ripple. Debt-free. Let's go, Semper. Debt-free. Helping kids and fortune animals and not need a loving, essentially need a loving home. Let's go, Kim. I would love to do something for the Palestinian. Okay, Susie. I would to build a retirement home in my mum's hometown as they don't have access to anything like this. Wow. I also want to help people who are less fortunate and for whatever reason things haven't gotten right. Let's go, Shelley. Absolutely amazing as well. I don't come from wealthy family, but my family will be wealthy. Let's go, funky brother. Pay off all my debts and help my family to financially free, be able to own my own home. Let's go, Denise. I'm 50, so sitting on an island drinking a pina colada. Let's go, John. Why not? If you want to do that, sit on an island and drink a pina colada, why not? I'm also planning on to open a rehabilitation hospital specialized in virus GBS for free. Let's go, Camel. To be healthy, enjoy life. Let's go, Dennis. Doing the same thing I'm doing today. Let's go, Mike. I just want to retire myself and family and enjoy life. I'm 55 years old. Let's go, Joe. Why not? 2.5 years. My goal is to be a crypto millionaire. Let's go, Sam. And also invest in properties and real estate. Let's go, Daniel. I want to be in crypto for the rest of my life, and I want to spoil my mother, travel everywhere, spend more time with friends and family, help the poor and elderly. Let's go, Messi. I got diagnosed with GBS since 19/10/2023 and have been fighting it through every day till today. Let's go, come on. I'm so sorry to hear that. I would like to be set up for retirement. So now I understand why you want to set up a GBS, essentially free clinic. Let's go, Camel. I would also like to be set up for the retirement short term. For long term, I would also like to help family and close friends and buy properties. Why not? And then after all of that, so after we go through, people want to help people want to help their families, people want to help their mothers. After all of that, we get to Funky Brothers' question. We get to Funky Brothers' answer. So everybody 2 to 5 years is going to do amazing things. And then we just get the Funky Brothers answer, which is, I just want to be naughty. I mean, if I'm gonna, get a response like that, it has to come from Funky Brother. Nobody else could get a response like that in that sort of manner. Everybody's saying, they want to help people, their family members will buy properties, so on, and then we get the Funky Brother who just says, "I just want to be naughty in 2 to 5 years." Marine salvage and help others to get an education so they can help themselves. Let's go, Ian. No worries, it's been a fun experience. I think health is the best gift. Facts. Let's go, Ripple. All of you had amazing responses. Even Funky Brother. I just want to be naughty in 2 to 5 years. My short-term goal is to make so many people as possible to buy XRP. I've helped 30 people just today. Let's go, Messi. Also build the dream home I've designed for the last 2 years and build a few buildings for corporate housings. Let's go. For people that are sincerely trying hard and working but can't make enough to have a nice apartment. Perfect. Happy Pisces, what you're doing is absolutely amazing. I'm glad I make you laugh. Let's go, Funky Brother. Being an athlete to 100% paralyzed, but you can recover 95% based on activity. Let's go, Camel. Great, honestly, to hear that. My XRP is running, so I have to do so as well. Let's go. Everyone had amazing responses. I want to walk now, at least. Let's go, Camel. But basically, like you, not looking to sit still 365 days a year. My late uncle was still investing in building properties into his late 80s. Let's go. Only Funky Brother. Honestly, the only person that could have given a response like that. I only want to be naughty in 2 to 5 years. That is my life goal, just to be naughty. Honestly, it has to be Funky Brother. Who else would say a response like that? So what JP said is facts. Only Funky Brother. But Happy Pisces, absolutely amazing. Now, Ledger. Ledger warns of new address poisoning scam. Ledger took to X to reveal how crypto users are targeted by scammers known as address poisoning. Address poisoning is a scam where scammers essentially poison a user's wallet by sending a small amount of crypto or an NFT that essentially disguised as a voucher. The aim is to trick the users into copying the scammer's wallet address from their transaction history and returning the voucher. This will send funds to the scammer's account instead of a legitimate one. If you own a ledger, Ledger's right now warning everybody. If you own a ledger and you get these random NFTs, a lot of people do get random NFTs. If you own the wallet, you know what I'm talking about. When you do get those random NFTs, don't touch them. When you get random transactions, don't touch them at all. These dummy transactions are meant to deceive you into believing that you sent funds to that address in the past. But unless you initiate a transaction to one of these addresses on your own and sign the transaction with your ledger, no value will be actually transferred from your account. Ledger tweeted. Scammers have been using open source software to create addresses similar to Ledger addresses. They may create addresses with the same first 4 or 5 characters, and the last 4 and 5 characters are to trick the users into sending them assets. The scam has been particularly prevalent among users of Ledger Live, a crypto wallet management tool. How to avoid scam? If there are concerns that a wallet may be compromised or notice a suspicious transaction on their account, it's best to discard it or ignore the transaction and associated addresses. Avoid interacting with suspicious tokens and NFTs that have been sent to you. Instead, you can right-click on the NFT/token and select Hide Token and NFT Collection. So if you have received a random token in your cryptocurrency wallet on your Ledger wallet, if you've received a random NFT in your wallet as well, you can essentially right-click on the transaction or NFT and click Hide Token or Hide Transaction. Or you could just leave to ignore it. This will hide the suspicious asset from view so you won't accidentally click on it or otherwise interact with it. Clicking on or following the link in a malicious NFT is sufficient to jeopardize a wallet. The only potential risk to the wallet includes sharing or typing out 24 words and recovery phrases or signing a malicious transaction with a Ledger device. It's best to avoid engaging with any unwanted tokens or addresses. Ledger advised users to right-click and hide the token to remove it from visual sight. In general, it's best to be cautious of malicious links in a wallet that could lead to scam websites attempting to trick users into sharing sensitive information or authorizing harmful transactions. That was something that just came out from Ledger. Warning everybody to please be careful, because the scams are getting quite ridiculous right now. Now, the next news we're going to go from tonight's live show is from USDT and Tron Network. But before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Will you still do shows in 5 to 10 years? Will I still be doing the CMF shows, the CMF live shows in 5 to 10 years? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Most likely, when it comes to 5 to 10 years, I'm going to personally know all of you, and, we'll all probably be traveling, somewhere, or in terms of, because of CoinMove. So either some of you might be even, working alongside CoinMove if you want to. Most likely we'll be visiting in terms of traveling and so on and so on. So maybe we could still do the live show if you want, but I think at that time, 5 to 10 years, we'll probably know each other on a face-to-face type of situation. Instead of me doing a live show for you, we'll probably just be around each other, having a drink. And we all did say that we're going to do a bar in Dubai. Don't forget, we all said we're going to do a bar in Dubai, and we're going to be calling it, obviously, the CMF bar, and we're going to have the upside down pineapple drink inside of it and so on. And we're going to have also the other drink, which was Consider Variable Change. One of the drinks is going to be called Consider Variable Change, which the only reason it's called Consider Variable Change is because it will never be the same flavor. So in 5 to 10 years, we're all going to be around each other. Miles, what do you want to do? That. My goals are still the same, in terms of CoinMove and Foundation. But I'm always open to the idea of the bot. Happened to my Trust Wallet and Zaman, NFTs and so on, yeah. Promised a minister one time if I ever got rich, I would build him a church. He helps the homeless. Let's go, Semper. Always look at receiving addresses, no than once before sending. I always hide Miles. Let's go. I wish there was a way of deleting these tokens and blocking them. Talking about Ledger, what's the story with your stacks? Talking about Ledger, what's the story with my Ledger stacks? Well, if you don't know, I put an order in for Ledger Stacks, which is the touchscreen Ledger. You can only pre-order it about 2 years ago. So I pre-ordered it 2 years ago. The latest email update I got from Ledger regarding my Ledger Stacks is that my order is going to come this year. My new Ledger Stacks, the touchscreen Ledger, is going to come this year. And I'm batch number 3. So Ledger has let me know that my delivery is in batch number 3. It's going to come this year. Hoping this year. But that's not bad, because I thought, I want to be batch 1, but I really don't want to be batch 1, to be fair. Batch 3 is not bad, because the only reason the Ledger Stacks took this long is because the screen doesn't bend properly and the ink situation doesn't work out properly either. So I'm guessing batch 1 of the Ledger Stacks are going to have massive bugs. Batch 2 that gets delivered to people are going to fix the bugs from batch 1. And if there's anything left from batch 2, any sort of bugs, they were perfected by batch 3, which is my delivery. So I'm actually happy that I'm in batch 3 of delivery, because if there's any issues, batch 1 and 2, they can fix it. But yeah, apparently I should be receiving it this year. It's been 2 years in the process from Ledger to build this wallet. So hoping to get that wallet this year. I wish there was a way. Do you think? Yeah, honestly, regarding what Shelly said, I wish there was a way as well. The only way is just to leave it where it is. Do you think TON is better long-term investment than Adder and ICP? Yes, because I do believe that Telegram is going to stay pretty much forever. If they're going to be turning into an everything app, Telegram is going to stay where it is forever, which means TON will just keep on growing alongside it. Consider variable change. If Miles will be having the show in 10 years, consider variable change. If Miles will be having the show in 10 years, facts. Don't forget about the bot. Let's go. I'm so excited to meet everyone. Let's go, Cal. I'm all in. Let's go. Not financial advice. And the not financial advice, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I'm so in. Let's go, Cal. Facts. Facts, though, brother. Let's go, Ray. Miles, what about the CMF hedge fund? And that too, the CMF hedge fund. My drink is the Bloody Gary. The Bloody Gary. 5 out of 10 answer is very positive, Miles. I like. Let's go, CMF. Let's go, Denise. That ball will be so big in Dubai. I can already imagine it. I remember you saying your batch, number 3. That's good, so the rest can be test ones for bugs. Yeah. Miles, DBG. I'll take a look into it. I'll get a batch full then. I'll get a batch full. Good. You might have it before the bull run, lol. I hope so. In 5 to 10 years, you will be all around social media and interviews. Let's go tour, hopefully. Now, USDT. Mav, let's go. How you doing? How you been? USDT on Tron network surpasses Visa's daily volume. New details have just came out. In a significant milestone for the cryptocurrency market, Tether USDT on the Tron network has surpassed Visa in 24-hour trading volumes. According to the data from Look On Chain, the trading volume of USDT on the Tron network reached an impressive $53 billion within a single day. $53 billion was processed through Tron network in a single day, exceeding Visa's average daily trading volume of $42 billion. Visa, the global payment giant, recorded trading volumes of $3.78 trillion in the first quarter of 2024. When broken down, this figure translates to an average daily trading volume of approximately $42 billion. This milestone is particularly noteworthy given the established dominance of Visa in payment industries. It underscores the rapid pace at which digital currencies are being adapted, and in the growing confidence that users place in them for conducting such large-scale transactions. The significant trading volume of Tether USDT on Tron network indicates a shift in how value is being transferred globally. This trend is likely to continue as more users and institutions recognize the benefits of digital currencies and stablecoins. As the cryptocurrency market continues to mature, such milestones as highlighted above are likely to become more frequent, indicating the wider acceptance and integration of digital currencies into everyday usage. In Tether's related news, Tether Holdings, the issuer of USDT, the largest stablecoin on the cryptocurrency market, has created also the synthetic dollar, which we also talked about as well. And that Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap today, has also announced that it has completed the integration of Tether and TON as well. Obviously, USDT is also operating on TON, not just Tron as well. But yeah, that milestone that just happened definitely shows the growing confidence inside the market space, but also it could just be mostly bot transactions. But in general, it does show the growing confidence in terms of stablecoins inside the market space. And what all these banks and essentially analysts from these banks are saying, the stablecoin market is going to be absolutely ridiculously massive. It is. Stablecoin market space is going to be massive. Now, we will have to see if USDT is going to be around for those days. Now, SoftBank is the next news we're going to go from tonight's live show. SoftBank CEO discusses the artificial and superintelligence in shareholder conference. There was a shareholder conference going on with SoftBank. SoftBank CEOs and founders and executive boards are all there, and some other clients and so on. And SoftBank essentially CEO made this speech that artificial superintelligence is going to take over the banking industry. Now, this is coming from a bank CEO. We're going to go through his perspective, but before we do, we're going to go inside the comment section first. While on the subject, what about getting some merch Yes, CMF merch is also going to be on the way soon. The bar must the bar must be a pool bar. I like the way you're thinking. Well, yes, it has to be a pool bar. So it makes sense. Now, I'm investing in Mouse, and I'm an OG, and I was the grandfather in. Yes, I mean, honestly, Scott is definitely one of the OG members, without a doubt. Maybe someone from CMF can replace Mouse when he's very busy. Why not? Now, or we could just do an AI version of me later on in many years to come. We can let the show go on, the old saying, the show must go on. We can do that, but we'll just do an AI version of me, and I'll train it like me. 5 years to be going forward, or 5 or 10 years. Now, SoftBank. SoftBank CEO discusses artificial superintelligence. SoftBank Chief Executive Officer, Sun is what his name is essentially, said he believes in artificial in general intelligence AGI. The CEO also said that AGI will surpass human intelligence in every way in the next 10 years. A bank CEO on a conference in front of many people has just said that essentially super intelligence in terms of AI is going to be taking over humans 100% in the next 10 years. At the SoftBank World Corporate Conference, Mr. Sun outlined plans to help create AI vastly smarter than any human possible. Making his most ambitious statements, the CEO added that artificial superintelligence (ASI) would outstrip human potential by 10,000 times, according to retainers. AI has already exceeded human intelligence. Sun has essentially been quite vocal about AI and essentially has spoken about artificial intelligence (AGI) in the past, often using the term singularity. He has previously insisted that technology will transform businesses and societies, but this is the first time Sun has given a timeline for the technology's progress, he said. It is wrong to say that AI cannot be smarter than humans, and is essentially created by humans to be smarter. He also added that AI is now self-learning, self-training, and essentially interacting, just like human beings. Sun noted that AI has already exceeded human intellect in certain areas. Sun also pitched the idea of artificial superintelligence at the event, which according to him would be achieved in the next 20 years. This specific level of genre of tech will be 10,000 times more capable than human intelligence, he said. Mr. Sun also highlighted that the group is now focusing on pairing robotics and artificial intelligence for mass production and logistics. Mr. Sun, from SoftBank, CEO essentially, has highlighted that the group is now focusing on pairing robotics and artificial intelligence for mass production. So iRobot is possibly on the way. SoftBank also invested $1 billion in British autonomous driving startup called Wave earlier in May. SoftBank says Japanese companies should wake up to the promise of AI as well. Mr. Sun's decision to invest in tech has helped SoftBank become a tech investment giant. SoftBank has invested in several AI startups, which provide worthwhile, while essentially some of its investments have been dud and failed, according to reports by CNN. SoftBank's subsidiary Arm is a chip designer headquartered inside the United Kingdom. The bank made a good profit during the first quarter of its share arm, and according to Mr. Sun, the arm will be the centerpiece of its AI strategy. So they're building computer chips as well. Sun has been making some big claims about emerging technologies. Returner said that his claims about the mobile internet have proved true, but his predictions about the Internet of Things (IoT) have yet to be proven. Referring to the Japanese company, Mr. Sun said that he has lagged in terms of digital age and reaffirmed his confidence in chip maker Arm. He asked Japanese companies to wake up to the promise of technology. Arm CEO Reen has also joined the conference via video and promoted the company's energy-efficient technology. Has also claimed that Arm's chip will become highly sought after for powering AI technology. Has said that AGI will become a reality in his lifetime, while Mr. Sun thinks that He thinks he is the only one who believes artificial general intelligence will be here within a decade. So, if you are the type of person that is invested in NVIDIA, pretty much, because of their chip processing and, essentially graphic cards and so on, because of the AI space, you might want to be looking into SoftBank as well, because SoftBank is also in the space of AI chips. And according to their CEO and executive board members, their chip is, in their own words, going to do amazing things in the AI space. And it's coming from a bank. They have a lot of money to play around with. So definitely look into SoftBank as well. If you are somebody that's inside NVIDIA who probably made quite a substantial, amount on NVIDIA, you might want to be looking into SoftBank as well, because they're also in the chip game and they've been working on it for quite a while. And their chip essentially factory is based inside United Kingdom. This bank's factory essentially. So you might want to be looking into SoftBank as well. Now, U.S. Congressman, but also what he said regarding AI being 10,000 times more intelligent than human beings. Yes, believe it or not, ChatGPT 4. Essentially ChatGPT 4.0 is already more intelligent than most human beings. No word of a lie. ChatGPT 4.0 is already more intelligent than most human beings. So imagine when we get to within 5 years or 10 years down the road, it's already more intelligent than most humans. 5 years, 10 years down the road, it's pretty much iRobot. Now, U.S. Congressmen essentially demand humanitarian release for detained Binance executives from Nigeria. Now, if you haven't been updated on this news regarding Binance and Nigeria, so 2 Binance executives were invited to Nigeria. And once they arrived at the Nigerian airport, they were arrested. You see, these 2 Binance executives went to Nigeria because they were invited to have a conversation with the Nigerian government because of cryptocurrencies and Binance being a massive exchange. So, these 2 Binance executives, when they arrived in Nigeria, they were arrested, no questions asked, and essentially put inside of a prison. So, and the US was very silent for a very long time. Now, after all this time, a US congressman actually went to visit these executives inside of Nigerian prisons. And he came back and said what he saw with his own eyes. The US representative, French Hill and Chrissy Houlihan, have called for the release of the detained Binance executives. Tyrone Gammon on the humanitarian grounds following their visit to the Kuju prison in Nigeria. The congressman reported finding the Binance executive in very poor conditions, suffering from malaria and double pneumonia. In a recent post on X, the Rep Hill expressed concerns about the Binance executive's health and lack of medical attention, urging the State Department to secure his release. The Binance executive, who is currently a Binance executive and a former IRS special agent known for his work in cyber and financial crime investigations, was arrested in February 2024 by Nigerian authorities and charged over allegations of money laundering and tax evasion, which both he and Binance have denied. The case has been marred by complications, including Gemma's absence from a May 2022 court appearance, which led to confusion and delays in the proceedings. While Nigerian authorities dropped the tax evasion charges on June 14th, the money laundering allegations still remain. The situation has drawn criticism from the US lawmakers, with a group of 12 representatives, including Rich, Michael T. McCall, and Barry, demanding the Binance executive's release from the Nigerian authorities. They have addressed letters to President Biden and Secretary of State of Antony Blinken, urging that the charges against the Binance executives are baseless and serve as a tactic against Binance. However, the Nigerian government maintains that due process is being followed. In a recent statement from Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, stated that the Binance executive's trials is being conducted by the Nigerian law, and all necessary care, according to diplomatic protocols and the rule of law, is being provided for him. Binance will have the chance to defend itself against these serious financial crime charges. So that is what's going on with Binance and essentially Nigeria and the United States. Now, this is a very bad. This is regarding what's happened. I'll be honest. The timing was very interesting because the SEC and the CFTC obviously cracking down on Binance, and then the CFTC closes their case on Binance. Binance has to pay $4.3 billion. CZ goes to prison, $50 million fine. Then, out of nowhere, about 2 weeks pass. The Binance executives get invited over to Nigeria. These Binance executives go to Nigeria and then they get arrested in the airport. Nigeria is claiming that these Binance executives and Binance in general has been money laundering in Nigeria with no proof. But the timing is interesting. Is the Nigerian government arresting these two Binance executives because they just saw on the news that Binance is coughing up $4.3 billion, and the Nigerian government thought, well, this is a good payday for us? Because they have no proof. Now, the funny part is, this is what the part that's quite funny, is that the Nigerian government, when they first arrested the two Binance executives, actually stated that the reason why their country's economy is doing quite bad is because of Binance. Just imagine that, just picture that for a second. The Nigerian government said when they arrested the Binance executives, we've arrested the Binance executives because they have damaged our country's economy. I'll be honest, Nigeria's economy could be perfected. It could be excellent. But that's got nothing to do with Binance. It's got something to do with the government of Nigeria. Because Nigeria can be an incredibly wealthy country if it wants to be. But that's if the government starts doing what it should do, which is help its people. But it doesn't. So the Nigerian government, who are as dodgy as pretty much any government out there, to be fair, there ain't that many governments out there that you can actually defend and say, yes, they're great people. Name one politician that's great. So in terms of, being quite dodgy and corrupted, the Nigerian government, who damaged their own economy since the dawn of time, has, this absurd thing going on where they're saying we're blaming Binance for our country's downfall. How could you blame Binance for your country's downfall? In the past 20 years, when Binance didn't exist, why was Nigeria's government, incredibly wealthy, and why are their people not doing too well? So it's got nothing to do with Binance regarding their economy. It's just the Nigerian government's corrupted, just like the majority of governments. So this absurd movement that they did makes no sense because Nigeria can become a wealthy, country. Africa in general could become a massive, wealthy continent. It's just their governments are corrupted. Africa in general can become a massive, massive, wealthy continent because they have so much resources, but their governments are corrupted. And for those governments to be blaming Binance for their downfall is complete BS. It's got nothing to do with Binance. You're just corrupted. So that was a story on Binance and essentially the Binance executives and so on, and the Nigerian authorities. But the US finally is taking some action on trying to get these two people out. Now, the ironic part about this whole scenario is the funny part and the ironic part about this whole story is that one of the Binance executives who was arrested, this man was the Binance executive, a former IRS special agent known for his cyber and financial crime investigations. So one of the Binance executives that was apprehended inside the airport and taken to a Nigerian prison, he was an expert in detecting fraud. If you're an expert in detecting fraud, maybe you should see these kind of things, happening. Because, if something's about to go south, I could see it happening 10 miles down the road. So if this this man was a IRS specialist and a cyber specialist and a fraud specialist, I don't think he was good at his job. Maybe Binance, when they do get this executive back, replace him? Because how did you not see this coming 10 miles down the road is what my question is. So that's the ironic and funny part. Now, Ripple CEO is the next news we're going to go from tonight's live show. If CZ wasn't in prison, well, before we read that, let's go to the comment section first. So, we were here. We were here. Miles, I feel I joined late, but I'm an OG. I joined in 03/2023. Yes, you did. Facts. Let's go. Yes, yes. For the merch, let's go CMF. Let's go. Maybe someone from I already had that one. Okay, we were here. Best to not talk S about AI soon. They're gonna control us all, and they will know who hates them. Fair enough. AI can always scam you. Also, always own your own. Don't trust AI. Have you seen how many subscribers on YouTube Hamster Combat gained in the last 30 days? 26 million. Wow. It is really a good time to be alive where we're all seeing this new technology like AI, etc., and we're actually seeing the financial system change. It really is once in a lifetime. Facts, honestly. You have to understand what JP just said is pure facts. You're in every single person right now in the world. Some people know and the majority don't know. But every single person in this world right now is incredibly perfect time to be alive, honestly. Incredibly lucky is what I want to say. Every single person in this world is incredibly lucky. Some people know, and the most don't know, but you're incredibly lucky to be in this world at this particular time right now. Because if you ever wanted to do a complete 360 on your entire life, do you understand how lucky you are right now in terms of, the financial system changing, AI coming in? You're getting early access in terms of research for growing your knowledge or in terms of investments into this new broadening thing that's going to be changing the entire world. So, and again, some people know, the people that are inside the crypto sector for the utility and the people that are sort of AI for utility, they know. And the majority of the people who don't care about cryptocurrency, they're also lucky, but they just don't know it yet. But every single person in this world right now who has access to some sort of financial, backings, small, medium, or big, is incredibly lucky right now. Because your early access to AI, your early access to blockchain, your early access, to this digital future, you can do a complete change in your entire life. You can do a complete 360 in your life. You go from where you are to where you want to be. So facts, what JP said. Some people understand they're lucky and they're taking action, and the majority are also lucky, but they're not taking action. But yeah, facts. I don't trust AI. I trust myself only. Fair enough, Ripple. AI is doubling its intelligence every year, Miles. I would say every month is doubling its intelligence. If you ask ChatGPT, can I say the order to avoid a nuclear war, it will say no. Yes, I know that. Yeah, I read that as well. It all depends on who controls the AI and how they use it. Also facts. Corruption. Yes, also facts. If CZ wasn't in prison, he would have gotten the guy back from Nigeria. That's also true as well. So the first CMF holiday is 2025 in Dubai. We'll see. Why not? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Will we wait till October for the SEC and Ripple case? It's September is what it's going to be around. But from now until September, multiply. Brad did say it's going to happen sooner than most people think. Multiplier will have AI scammers also. True. Miles, that is absolutely fantastic. What you said about Binance reps going over there, you can't make it up. Honestly, facts. Let's go, Addy. Actually, it's true. Yeah, honestly. Beware. Yep. Don't. Yep. Honestly. Hey, Ian. Let's go as if. Brother, I sent you a message on YouTube and you don't. Brother, I sent you a message on YouTube and you don't answer. Did you block me? This is Got You Clothing, but my YouTube video is under my first name, Abel. Just wanted to know. Have a great weekend. AG, first of all, AG, I will never block you. So I've never blocked you. I'm never going to block you either. Brother, I didn't know you messaged me at all. I'll check it out. Why don't you message me on Telegram instead? It would be much more easier. But I'll check it out. I'll check it out on YouTube. No problem. Did you put a comment or a message? I'll check it out either way. I'll see the notifications I receive. I didn't know you sent me a message. I'll be fairly honest on YouTube. I'll check it out. We're all privileged to be here together with you in the CMF Respect Miles. Let's go, Ian. I'm so excited for it. Let's go, Shelly. AI can scam you also. Yes, it can. Especially us in the CMF. Daniel, facts. Let's go. Shelly, facts. Let's go as well. I thought they're going to trial in October. And yes, it's a possibility, but the deadline is going to be around September, is what I was trying to say. Now, the next news on tonight's live show. So we went through the banking news, the information news, the prospective news from bank CEOs, and now we're going into from the Bitcoin news and the TON news and the Tron news, USDT news. Now we're going to the Ripple news. So Ripple is out of CMF. Yes, facts. Miles, I sent you a message on Telegram. Also, Kim, I'll check it out as well. After the live show, I'll check it out as well. Can AI fight against itself? It can, yes, possibility. We must rent a big yacht for the CMF party. Let's go. Why not? Anything's possible. Now, on yesterday's live show, I said the news that Ripple is, battling a civil case as well. So Ripple is obviously battling the SEC, which is the big case, Goliath versus David. Or in this case, it's actually just Goliath and David, which is on Ripple's side, and the SEC is just some random person. But there's a civil case that was going on as well. And on yesterday's live show, I revealed that all of the cases inside the civil case were dismissed. So the civil cases were just random people who brought XRP, and they said, why hasn't XRP gone up? I demand XRP to go up, and decide to sue Ripple. Those morons who don't know it's optional, not just for XRP, but if you buy a Bitcoin and it goes down, it was optional to buy a Bitcoin. If you buy XRP, XLM, XDC, ACH, NEAR, HOT, Graph, Tron, Solana, Cardano, Ethereum, whatever you buy, it is optional. If it doesn't go up, are you really going to sue it? So the case yesterday, I revealed to everyone that essentially the civil cases were dismissed because even the judge, I'm guessing, thought it was laughable. And those morons who decided to sue individually Ripple probably laughed out the courts. Now, one case decided to continue itself into California for a trial date coming up. And inside this case, essentially, this plaintiff said that Ripple's CEO said that he's long on XRP. And that because Ripple's CEO said he's long on XRP, and that Ripple as a company started selling XRP on to secondary markets and so on. Now, the rest of the plaintiffs essentially said the exact same thing, similar to the exact same thing, and the judge dismissed all the cases because they said it's secondary markets. And the judge even matched what Judge Torres said. Judge Torres said XRP on secondary markets, in general, XRP has clarity of not being a security at all. So what Judge Torres said is exactly the same thing. Now, it is. Regarding why I say it is because I just read Joe's comments. The civil lawsuit against Ripple's CEO is insignificant. It is. It's facts. It's insignificant. However, what I'm mostly interested about is what Ripple's CEO said at the end. Because yesterday I shared the news of Ripple and the plaintiffs and the judge's perspective. And the judge essentially saying what Judge Torres said about XRP back then is correct. Now, this is what I'm interested about, essentially what Brad said. This is Brad now talking about this lawsuit. So, Ripple's CEO hails the big win in California. Ripple CEO Brad has just hailed the recent ruling in a civil securities lawsuit against this company as a big win. The Judge Hamilton, who leads the North California U.S. District Court, allowed the lawsuit to go to trial. One state law claim, which centers around statements made by Brad about XRP in 2017 interview, and has now been allowed to proceed to trial. But the other cases were dismissed. However, Judge Hamilton has shot down 4 claims that revolved around Ripple's alleged failures to register the controversial XRP token as a security. So every person from the retail section who was either being paid off or not, who sued Ripple Labs for having a security token, regular folks, those cases got dismissed. The judge said XRP, Judge Hamilton, yesterday, said that XRP is not a security. In those cases, that those civil cases that they were got dismissed. And the judge said XRP is not a security. So I don't know why you're even mentioning XRP should have registered itself as a security. Cases all dismissed. But there's one case that stayed, and it's got nothing to do with the security part. It's got to do with what Brad said. So, the controversial XRP token as a security that got dismissed. Now, Brad claims the New York court decision has somewhat a recent California decision. This comes after attorney Fred argued that XRP token might end up being essentially recognized as a security in the Golden State. Brad stands by his misleading statement, apparently. Why I say apparently is because it's not a misleading statement. So Brad said a very long time ago that he's long on XRP and he sees a very bright future for XRP. And essentially, the plaintiffs are calling this a misleading statement. The people that are, the civil case. And by the way, this person that's suing Ripple essentially is only holding about 100 XRP tokens. And this person is suing essentially Brad for his 100 XRP individual tokens that, Brad said he's long XRP. What happened to that? And that's misleading. So Brad's saying, technically, it's not really misleading on what I said. While addressing the claim that will go to trial, Brad, the CEO of Ripple, essentially slammed it as an attempt by trolls to game the US legal system to receive hundreds of millions in class action settlements. During the 2017 interview, Brad spoke about his long position on Ripple-affiliated XRP token. Plaintiff Bradley Stokes argues that the bullish statement was misleading what Brad said in 2017, which was the Ripple boss sold millions of XRP on different exchanges that same year when he said he's long on XRP. In another interview, Brad also stated that Ripple was going to drive a massive amount of demand for the token since it was solving a $1 trillion problem. Moreover, Ripple allegedly collaborated with marketing agencies when answering questions from the purchasers of the token. This is what all the plaintiff, the retail person, is saying. Brad claims that he continues to stand with his comments. This was interesting. Brad from Ripple essentially came out and said that whatever I said in 2017, when I said long Ripple, or when I essentially said that Ripple is going to be solving a $1 trillion problem, these are all the things that I said in 2017, is what Brad's saying. And Brad said, I stand by every single thing I said. That's confidence on what Ripple XRP is. That's confidence. The guy said, Brad came out and said, I stand by what I said regarding it's going to solve a $1 trillion problem. And I stand by what I said regarding essentially Ripple. I'm long or essentially on XRP. He stands by everything he said, Brad said. So Brad claims that he continues to stand by his statements, adding that he's looking forward to shedding light on them during the upcoming trial. Brad is going to be in trial, and he said he's looking forward to shed light on XRP. And that he said he's standing by everything that he said. He's standing by the long XRP. He's standing by it's going to solve a $1 trillion problem. He's standing by everything he said. He's not taking back a word. And he said, I'm looking forward to shedding light in that trial. That's going to be an interesting one. Honestly, good for him for doing this. This will shut down anybody else trying to even think about doing a civil case. And by the way, these civil cases, came right about a time when Ripple was trying to go, when SEC was trying to go after Ripple. So these civil cases are trying to take action at the same time. And what's very odd, is this. This is the most oddest part about this whole scenario. The person that's going up against, essentially, Brad, is only holding a few hundred tokens of XRP. Not a few 100,000 tokens, but a few hundred. So let's just assume a few hundred. This person is holding either 100 individual XRPs or 300 to 500 individual XRPs. So A person that's holding 100 XRP or 200 or 300 XRP, individual XRPs, not 100,000, 200 XRP only, has decided to get a lawyer to pay the lawyer hourly, starting from $250 hourly to $500 to $1,000 to sue Ripple. Now, this civil case has been going on for a few years. How does that even add up? This person brought about 200 individual XRPs, which is about, back then, which was about, what, 100, less than $100 he spent? And he's decided to get a lawyer that he's paying $250 an hour to, or $500 an hour to, or $1,000 an hour to sue Ripple for all this time. So his lawyer bills are through the roof. To me, this looks like this case, the civil case, and the other cases, based on the timeline, were set up cases, were cases that were set up for one of them to succeed from the civil cases, so then Gary Gensler and the SEC could use this civil case in their own case. To me, this just smells BS. If I spend $100 on buying in XRP, if I spend $60 on buying XRP, why would I be paying $250 an hour to a lawyer for several years to battle this company? Something doesn't add up with either one of these civil cases. The timeline is interesting on it. But to me, it just seems like somebody is behind these cases, these civil cases. And I know for a fact, if any of those civil cases weren't dismissed, and if one of them even succeeded, I know for a 1,000,000%, I will bet my life on it, that Gary Gensler, this weasel Gary Gensler, he will use these civil cases in his cases and say, look, this judge, these people, they're losing money. This doesn't add up. The numbers don't add up. The timeline is interesting. None of these civil cases add up. Someone is definitely behind these civil cases, because you don't spend $60 on XRP and then spend $250 an hour with a lawyer for several years to sue Brad. The numbers don't add up. Because there's no common sense behind it either. If you just think about it, logically, spending $250 an hour, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour to pay a lawyer for several years to battle a case that you spend $60 on. The numbers don't add up. The timeline adds up, and this is definitely set up. But the numbers don't add up. Why would you spend thousands of dollars on $60? So these cases are against Brad. I mean, if Brad wants, I'll represent him in court. Brad, if you're listening to this, I will represent you in court, no problem. Brad, CEO of Essential Ripple, if you want somebody, to be alongside you in court, I got you, bro. I will make that plaintiff, that the other person essentially on the other side, sing like a bird. Honestly, if I get that person in the courtroom, I will make him sing like a bird and explain to everybody who's behind him and who's funding him. I will corner him using his own words against him. That's my specialty, which is whenever someone tries to BS me, I will corner them using their own words. I do this all the time inside the corporate sector, where I will just, if I'm inside, when I'm working and I'm in the corporate sector, I would just use the other person. If I smell BS, I would use the other person's words against them to find out the real truth in the corporate sector. Not in my normal life. I don't do that to normal people. I only do people who are full of BS inside the corporate sector. But I would use their own words against them. If I was in that court scene, I would use his own words against him and make that person sing like a bird on who's funding him to do these setups. Now, Japanese banks is the next news we're going to go through on tonight's live show. Japanese banks will boost crypto liquidity. But before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. Brad is the let's go. We were here. You can be long and still sell. Many does that. That's true. Another great show tonight. I have been on YouTube and now on X. Both provided me a great experience on my cell phones. I message you, listen on YouTube, and on my laptop I can message on X. Let's go, Scott. Funny people, how do you expect to win when the SEC is struggling to win against Ripple? Lol. Facts. What Genius has just said as well. You know, with Gary Gensler and the SEC losing so bad, you know, how do these civil cases honestly believe they're going to do anything? Facts. What Genius just said. Ripple isn't a security, so they can't be fined for the past transactions. Facts. Share this program if you find it useful. I just did with both YouTube and X. Let's go, Scott. Geez, I will buy her tokens for $1 each so she can shut. Let's go, Scott. Brad is the man. Remember, new viewers, Miles is free and has always and still is free. Facts. I am always free. Smells like a government show, Miles. It does. To me, it sounds like Gary Gensler. This retail section civil cases against Brad, to me, it smells like Gary Gensler. The same way those two lawyers from the SEC that went to the debit box case under Gary's authorities, essentially, for debit box case, and lied to a judge, and then were fired from the SEC, and that department of the SEC closed down, and the SEC had to pay a fine for lying to a judge and essentially paying debit box because they won the case. To me, this just smells like Gary Gensler and the SEC's doings. These civil cases are definitely something to do with Gary Gensler and the SEC. Because they're using these civil cases to maybe, hopefully, get a win against Brad, to use these civil cases in their own case. You know, Gary Gensler will just always remind me of, you know, Gary Gensler used to remind me of, if anybody ever seen the TV show Suits, if anybody's ever seen the TV show Suits, the SEC person in Suits is what Gary reminds me of. But he also reminds me of the other SEC member in Billions. If you've ever seen the TV show Billions, Gary also reminds me of that particular person, and I was also an SEC member. Also, both of them ironically look like Gary Gensler. Of how manipulated they are and how corrupted they are as the chairman of the SEC. Steve Pineapple fault, spending government's money. Some BTC Maxis is behind him for the fees. For sure, someone is behind him. It's Bitcoin Maxis, JP and Gary. We as the CMF can take them off their hands for one. Yep. That guy is 15 minutes of fame. We're up for 13 minutes ago. I don't mess with Big Brad. Let's go. Something fishy, definitely Zuzi. Sorry, walking and talking at the same time wasn't clear. My Pisces. Well said, Miles. Let's go, Ripple. Let's go, Miles. QC. Share. And hey, Miles, I'm not daft, but you are spot on. It's all about manipulation tactics and BS. Facts. Let's go, Addy. Is it possible for Judge Torres is waiting for that lawsuit in Cali to be resolved so that she can give her decision? No. Possibility? Maybe, but definitely not. I joined the Hamster Combat 1 hour ago and already on 10,000 points. Let's go, Chillzone. Now, Japanese banks. Japanese banks will boost crypto liquidity. Oh, also, once, do you know, before I read that news, share that news with you, which is quite bullish actually. Chozo, the reason why I said, I've heard of Hamster Token, but the reason why I said, let me look into the Telegram coins before you go into them, because just in case one of them do compromise your phone that your wallets are on. Not saying that there's anything wrong with Telegram, it's just the projects that are on there. Some of them could be malicious. So that's why I wanted to check it. But either way, you're into it now. Let's go. Now, Japanese banks. Japanese banks will boost crypto liquidity. Alpha Hayes. Alpha Hayes once again released a thought-provoking essay on the impact of US monetary policies. The more I read this, the more bullish it gets. So, Alpha Hayes once again released a thought-provoking essay on the impact of US monetary policies on Japanese banks. He predicts that these banks will soon sell off large amounts of foreign bonds on mainly US treasuries, so USTs. He believes that this will prompt the Bank of Japan (BOJ) to use the Federal Reserve's FIMA repo facility. The increase in dollar liquidity could greatly benefit Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, he's saying. Author calls his essay Shikita Jinia, meaning, it's a Japanese word, meaning it cannot be helped. This is about Japanese banks caught in a tough situation due to US monetary policies. These banks engaged in a dollar-yen carry trade to earn high yields. They borrowed yen from the local savers, seeing near zero yields on domestic bonds, and instead invested in US treasuries, which offered better returns even when hedged against currency risk. But inflation hit the US hard during the payments and lockdown measures during the COVID-19 pandemics. The US Federal Reserve responded by raising interest rates in the fastest pace since 1980s. This was essentially for the US, this was quite bad for the UST holders, which was the US Treasury holders, leading to the worst bond market since the War of 1812. The initial banking casualties emerged in the US in March 2023, with 3 merger banks failing in less than 2 weeks. This led to a bailout of all US treasuries held by US banks, causing Bitcoin to surge over 200% at that particular time. The role of FIMA repo facility, the FIMA repo, established in March 2020, lets central banks pledge US treasuries for overnight dollar liquidity. Arthur Hayes, this is where things start changing. Arthur Hayes explains increasing FIMA repo activity means more dollar liquidity in global markets. This stealthy money printing benefits Bitcoin and other cryptos. Arthur Hayes learned about this mechanism from the Atlanta Fed report, understanding how it can keep US treasuries off public markets. Basically, the United States doesn't want Japan to sell their US treasuries in any sort of a way, because that wouldn't be good for the US dollar. If essentially Japanese banks started dumping their US treasuries, they have a lot. So, as a bailout, this is also what I said a while ago, but now it's coming out of Arthur Hayes. As a bailout, the US is offering something regarding the MIMA, which is, since 2020, you can take out temporary dollars, let's say. The printing machine comes turning on, and you can get temporary dollars against US treasuries, so you don't sell. Japan's economy is not doing too well. If they sell, not good for the US dollar. So the US has to come in and save the day and save their own ass, essentially. See, the BOJ, the Bank of Japan, can use the FIMA repo facilities to help Japanese banks avoid market losses. By buying US treasuries directly from banks, the Bank of Japan can manage the USD interest rate risk without going bankrupt. So, the Central Bank of Japan essentially is getting US dollars from the US. So the US will start printing money. The US, which essentially will be adding more liquidity to the dollars. The US will essentially funnel that money to Japanese banks. Japanese banks will have money to buy the US treasuries from the banks in Japan. So the banks in Japan don't go bankrupt and don't end up either selling their US treasuries. So the Bank of Japan, the Central Bank of Japan, will end up buying all these treasuries and then use that as a hedge to pay back the money, essentially, to keep afloat. Now, by buying the USDs directly from the banks, the BOJ can manage the USD interest rate risk without going bankrupt. The Bank of Japan's government entity doesn't face the same capital adequacies or risk management constraints as commercial banks. The FIMA repo facility allows the Bank of Japan to roll repos daily, holding the US treasuries until maturity, which means the US can keep on backing it in terms of dollars. Arthur believes that Yellen will support the FIMA repo facility to prevent a spike in USD yields, which would hurt the US economy. The facility was created during the March 2020 dash for cash, allowing central banks to raise cash without selling their US treasuries overnight. This helped stabilize the treasury markets, but also damaged the US dollar and the debt increase. Arthur plans to increase. This is where now it's getting extremely bullish on what he's saying. Also, some things that I said as well. So this is where things start getting interesting. Alpha plans to increase his crypto investments starting now. Alpha Hayes is increasing his crypto investments starting now, anticipating more dollar liquidity from Japanese banks selling their USTs, because the Japanese banks, remember, they're selling their USTs not on the market but to the Bank of Japan, which means those banks will have dollars going, essentially more volume coming into them. This liquidity is essential for the current dollar-based financial system. The BitMEX founder advises, again, not financial advice, and this is just news coming from Arthur Hayes. The BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes, advises buying the dip in Bitcoin and other cryptos right now, as increased dollar supply supports the market. This is what Arthur Hayes said, word for word. Arthur Hayes said, "This is just another pillar of the crypto bull market that's happening right now, essentially within our eyes. The supply of dollars must increase to maintain the current Pax American dollar-based filthy financial system." He said, "Say it with me, Shekita Gia Nia, and buy the effing dip." This is coming from Arthur Hayes, founder of BitMEX Exchange, making a very, very bold speech about right now. He said more dollar increase is about to be happening because the US won't let Japan go bankrupt. The US will keep Japan afloat by printing, essentially giving money to the Bank of Japan to be able to buy the US treasuries from the commercial banks, because the commercial banks won't be able to handle the pressure in Japan. They will go bankrupt. So the commercial banks of Japan will sell the US treasuries to the Bank of Japan. The Bank of Japan is keeping afloat because of the US. The US debt increases. The US is printing more dollars and more dollars in circulation. Essentially, this is the next pillar for the run, according to Arthur Hayes, the founder of BitMEX. And he said, buy the effing dip. And that is how we're going to end this live show, with that news. So, on tonight's live show, we went through Japanese banks and Arthur Hayes. We went through Ripple's CEO on their civil case. We went through US congressmen actually going for Binance. We talked about SoftBank's CEO and his new perspectives on AI. We talked about USDT and Tron Network. We talked about Ledger warning everybody about a new scam that's going around. We talked about Bybit announcing a restock of their BTC wealth management. We talked about RF Jr. Kennedy giving his new perspectives. We talked about, on tonight's live show also, regarding Bitcoin and Ether tradings on Standard Chartered Bank. We talked about Pantora Capital going for more TON tokens. We talked about Michael Saylor and Michael Dell. Is Dell going to go for more Bitcoin? We talked about Bloomberg analysts giving their new perspectives. We talked about the Digital Chamber flagging privacy concerns and the IRS digital tax. So, that was all the news that we talked about on tonight's live show. If you enjoyed this live show, tune into it every single night. This has been episode 94. 94 days now, back to back. 94 days back to back. I've been going live on X and on YouTube and sharing you most recent news that's happening in cryptocurrencies, recent news in AI, recent news in banking news, recent news in politics, regulations, everything you need in the digital world. So, if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. If you watch this on YouTube, follow and tune in every single night. If you're watching this on if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching this on X, follow. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like. And we also have a Telegram group as well. By the way, everything I provide is completely free of source. And we have a Telegram group as well, which anybody is more than welcome to join. All the amazing people inside the CMF Telegram group are inside the comment section. I'm out, peeps. Take care, Miles and family. Ray, see you tomorrow, brother, same time as usual. Very bullish life today, brother. Let's go, count. By the team, let's go Ripple. Good night, Miles, and all the CMF. Thank you for all the great news and great live as always. Let's go, JP. JP, see you tomorrow, but at the same time as usual. Good night, CMF, and as always, thank you, Miles, for sharing all your research. Let's go, Rumi. Rumi, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Thank you, Miles. Take care and see you tomorrow. Mike, see you tomorrow, brother, same time as usual. Miles, have you seen the post about banks ceasing trading on June 30th, 2025? I haven't. Send it to me. I'll take a look at it. You talked about Den by Tim. Miles is free facts. Thank you, Miles. Appreciate it. Let's go. Good night, Miles, and family. Great live. Thanks for the awesome and have a good one. Ian, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. We have come to the endings of this live show. Thompson, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. I will be seeing everyone. So we're going to do the outro of this live show now. Respect for you, Miles. Let's Stormy. Thanks, Miles. Let's go, Stormy as well. See you tomorrow, Stormy. See you tomorrow, Scott as well. Same timing as usual. We're going to do the outro now, which is I will see everybody tomorrow. Same timing as usual. On X and on YouTube. On live. Everybody have a good day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. See you all tomorrow, same time as usual.